When we are a climbing team of 3 and bringing up the followers in parallel, that is having each follower on their own rope belayed from the top and climbing at the same time, there's some contention about whether we need 2 single ropes or could use a set of half or twin ropes. Let's talk trade-offs and how I go through this decision-making process. Hello, I'm Jason. We're kind of finishing up a mini "What Rope Should I Choose" series. 2 weeks ago, we did a video about the various metrics we see come out of rope testing for single, half, and twin ropes, and what the results mean for the performance we will find on our various climbs. And last week, we did a video more generally around the single, half, twin, and single plus tagline options we have, along with spending a bit more time on how those rope systems are used differently. Both videos have a link in this video's description. We tend to see geographical differences when it comes to using 2 single ropes or using 2 half or twin ropes when climbing as a team of 3. So today I wanted to go deeper. When I think about climbing as 3 with parallel followers, I think through a few different trade-offs: weight, clipping patterns, abrasion and cutting resistance, stretch, impact force, and redundancy. Weight is an obvious one. Single ropes are going to be thicker and therefore weigh more grams per meter. Of course, the difference varies based on the ropes we personally have to select from, but we could easily end up with 4.5 pounds or 2 kilograms more if bringing along 2 60-meter ropes. Big approaches where weight matters might push the weight difference to be something more influential in my decision. But approach comfort will always take a backseat to vertical safety, so let's talk clipping patterns. With half ropes, I have the option of alternate clips or clipping a specific rope on a specific side of me. This can reduce rope drag on winding routes, like we might get if using twin ropes. If I'm bringing 2 singles, usually we will see only one rope being used for lead protection and the other rope hauled up to simplify the belay and reduce rope tangles. But now I end up with the same friction problem I get with twin ropes, as the lead line zigzags from side to side. So the more winding the route, the more half ropes make sense to me. But there is another safety issue to consider when on winding routes. If the followers are more likely to take swinging falls, then we are more likely to drag the weighted rope across terrain that could become a cutting hazard. So if I'm going to get swinging falls no matter what, say if I'm coming into a belay stance on a traverse, then having my followers on more robust singles might be worth it. Speaking of falls, I also need to consider stretch. Generally speaking, the skinnier the rope, the more it will stretch. For 2 followers climbing in parallel, that means we need to worry about spacing one climber far enough above the other that a fall wouldn't land on the lower climber. We also need to consider ledges and other blocky terrain as more hazardous if we have a lot of rope out from a top belay. That same stretchiness, though, is what reduces impact force on gear holding a lead fall. So trad routes or alpine routes with iffy rock are likely to dissuade me from using twins, as the 2 ropes falling onto one gear placement have the highest impact forces of our rope options. Which takes us to redundancy. Here, 2 singles take the prize. If something happens to one rope, like a damaged core or the like, we have a completely versatile rope remaining. Being a single rope would open up options like fix and follow, which requires certain rope thicknesses depending upon our equipment, simul-climbing, and other procedures, assuming we have the knowledge base to use them. But we could also still lead out full pitches, even if we need to now bring up one follower and then the other in sequence. That might be the difference between getting to safe anchor stations or having to improvise mid-pitch. Yes, with halves and twins, we can double the rope over for the leader and still get a high degree of functionality, but we'd be cutting our available pitch length in half. Bottom line, then, is that I don't use twin-only rated ropes very often for a team of 3 with parallel followers. The stretch and the thinner diameter for cut resistance don't add up for the weight savings I get when compared to half ropes. And I like the ability to keep the ropes each on one side to help reduce rope drag. I will often use half ropes and occasionally use 2 singles. The more I am worried about rope damage, the more I will tilt towards singles, but that isn't very often. Most of the types of chaussee alpine routes I get on where rope damage is a major concern are also low-angled, and I'm using a bunch of mountaineering tactics like terrain and body belays, maybe coupled with fix and follow tactics. You can watch a whole series we did on this type of technical scrambling by following another link in the description. But in those cases, I may not be bringing 2 ropes at all, just the one. It's blocky vertical climbing or big traverses where 2 singles start to provide more safety margin for me. Do you climb as a team of 3 often? If so, what's your preferred rope system? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share if you want to support us. For For more information, you can go to our website at www.shortguysbetaworks.com. You can watch that video I mentioned about rope specifications and how they impact the risks we face on a climb, or you can check out our entire technical scrambling series on how we can add in rope systems on lower angled climbing that don't burn through too much time. We'll see you next week and keep on getting more out of that big outside.